I'm not going to go so far as to claim that God's a DJ, but sometimes it does happen that a song is just so pronounced, so loud, so to speak, that the walls shake. And truly, I can't tell the difference between the shaking walls and the heartbeat. So this inspires things, and it inspired this video. So I want to kind of start with the lyrics of a song called Dreams by the Cranberries. And by the way, if you haven't watched my previous video on transference and transmutation, which could rightfully also be said to be facets of transcendence, definitely watch that video first. The overall point of this video, by the way, is again clarity. But specifically with respect to change that's desired, and with the desire to make a new start. And the intention here, or the hope for the communication, is seeing the spontaneity, the truth of this moment, that this is and always is the new start. Oh, my life is changing every day in every possible way. And oh, my dreams, it's never quite as it seems. Never quite as it seems. I know I felt like this before, but now I'm feeling it even more because it came from you. Then I open up and see the person falling here is me. A different way to be. I want more. Impossible to ignore. Impossible to ignore. And they'll come true. Impossible not to do. Impossible not to do. And now I tell you openly, you have my heart, so don't hurt me. You're what I couldn't find. A totally amazing mind, so understanding and so kind. You're everything to me. And oh, my life is changing every day in every possible way. And oh, my dreams, it's never quite as it seems. 'Cause you're a dream to me. Dream to me. So desire, change, alignment. First, here's how this looks from the sphere's perspective. This universe in there. The patterns, the habits, etc. in terms of perception are transpiring here in and as the sphere of the world, universe, creation. The thoughts about it are transpiring here as the some way, or just what I've come to call this sphere of the lens. That which is aware of it all, that which is appearing as the spheres, is the ineffable you, which is being, or being the spheres. The point of clarity, spheres-wise, the point is to go from this, again you can see how that looks with beliefs and discordant thoughts in the way, to this. Very different experience. Same perception, same experience, same creation, so to speak, completely different experience of self, of reality, of the world, of everyone and everything in it, of your life. When it comes to desire for change, often we tend to go to a thinking of what we need and an intention of getting serious. And we tend to think in terms of our whole life, which we really, honestly, don't actually do and cannot actually do, but it would be more accurate to say that these are the thoughts that arise as if we're thinking in terms of our whole life. And it gets overwhelming pretty quick, which can leave us uninspired, to say the least, and self-defeated, to say the least. Let's consider, if God is love, and God-love is infinite, what thing or other thing has God to be serious about? What thing could God-love truly be said to need? With respect to the life-sized thinking, perhaps the insight desired is what is now, what is focused on at present. Maybe that is the key. If it presently isn't known that God is love and is infinite, as in you are not separate or a separate self, or even if it cannot be cognitively known that God is infinite love, the plea here is, can it be felt? Can it be known in that way? Can it be allowed in that way? Can this moment be taken right now to feel the most subtle power, the all-important difference? Consider the thoughts. I need a fresh start. I need to take life more seriously. I need to quit a big list of things. Thinking something serious is going on here. Thinking anything is needed other than God, love, or, if you will, God's love. God's will in my life, in your life. Feeling-wise, in terms of if it resonates, the thinking that something else is needed, something serious is going on, that it's a very serious matter. Feeling-wise, I'm not so sure about that thinking. Maybe there's a very strong sense that it was right, necessary even, to go there, to feel around this place, to see what this body can do, to see what this mind can do, to experience the wide range of emotions directly, to really realize these aren't matters I can take anyone's word for, to see that these aren't conceptual matters. Maybe I had to feel around for myself. And I did. And what I found is I am. I see this with my little ones very often. And inside, I'm thinking, hell yeah, absolutely. Hate. Be angry. Get pissed. Get serious. Believe that you need. Just don't take my word for it or mom's word for it. Not for that. You got to feel all that for yourself. You got to feel where you are and where you're not, who or what you are and who or what you're not, so to speak. I suggest it can be no other way, but even more so, even saying there's no shoulds. I suggest that as rough as life can get, it shouldn't be any other way. You really ultimately wouldn't want it to be any other way. That can be a bold statement, and I do apologize if it's triggering. Going back to the cranberries' wisdom, can we get real by dreaming? Is the approach, the lens, the framing of need, of serious, of quitting resonating? Or is a mountain being created there, and then it is being questioned, how do I get over the mountain of my life? The mountain was and is created in the mind. Isn't it so? The way, then, is too. Isn't it so? When you focus on what you desire to create an experience and align with it, not need, not serious, not something needs to change. When you align with it and allow doubt to be heard, when you allow the doubt to be heard and not cling to, you are saying, move mountain. And God, love, will fill that hole maybe you've been trying to fill. And you will see that mountain will move. For what it's worth, I grew up basically thinking, and this is a very broad stroke, that if there was a God, God was my adversary. That God was judging me, or keeping a tally for my life to ultimately end in being judged. It's the perfect plot, though. Isn't it so? If you were infinite intelligence, and you are, if you were unconditional love, and you are, is that really the reality that you would cook up? Is that the way, the experience you'd create for yourself? Need, seriousness, quitting? Does that feel like your infinitely intelligent self? Does that feel like unconditional love? These are just things to reflect on, really. Suggestions, thoughts offered. Don't listen to me, of course. That is not the suggestion. That's not the plea here. Listen to the discord. By God, listen to the panic attacks. For God's sake, listen to insomnia. This is just a suggestion for a consideration from someone who tried like hell to get over that mountain. To get serious, to need, to quit, to need to quit, to seriously need to quit. I tried to fill that hole with a lot of things, and none of it worked. In hindsight, really, it just dulled, numbed the discordant thoughts at best. But really, not even. I need, just consider, be done with that. Throw it out for good. If you're hungry, obviously, you need to eat. If your finger's hanging off your hand by a thread, of course, you need to have a doctor sew it back on. There's a certain given here that these these are obvious, and that it's equally as obvious or becoming as obvious that that isn't quite what we're talking about here. I'm talking about shifting the momentum over your life experience, and therein I'm talking about consciously creating, which is to say transmuting the discordant momentum and going forward in alignment and realizing the insight of listening to the discord at a whisper. This is just a way to phrase it. I'm well aware of the duality implied. Listening to the whisper of the discord is listening to the guidance, not needing God's will to get louder for you. Not needing basically to get yelled at by God. And as bad as it is, experiences like panic attacks or insomnia or the dozen other things that come to mind and likely do for you, not needing to get yelled at. And if you are getting yelled at, and I hope you get what I mean by getting yelled at, I'm not trying to personify God at all, but I'm talking about your experience, if you will, that you are being. When I'm talking about not needing to get yelled at, I'm talking about joy and alignment, or the joy of alignment, the right now joy of alignment. For that, food will not fill the belly like the, quote, daily bread will. And there's no doctor that can fill you up where only God - love can. If you get that straight, and if it's time for you to get that straight, if you desire for alignment, if you desire the getting of that straight, I can assure you, you've never tasted food like you will going forward. You've never felt love and appreciation for a chef, or for that matter, a mom, a wife, a friend, or just someone working that drive-through window, like you will aligned. I guarantee you've never felt the appreciation for the years of education and relentless dedication that nurses, doctors, EMTs, billing coders, etc., that front desk receptionist on the midnight shift, you've never felt the appreciation like you will in alignment. Appreciation at its essence is alignment, and in your life is empowerment. Serious. Let's get rid of that too. Just consider it. Dropping it. Taking it out of your mind, out of your vocabulary, letting it go. For everything there is a season. Please apply some mindfulness, or if not, some follow-up questions to what it is I'm honing in on here. When I say let that go, simply and only because it hasn't resonated, it isn't resonating, it isn't going to. It's not working, and it's not going to work. Maybe it does, and it has for you. And then maybe I'm wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. And if that works for you, then great. This is just a suggestion. What I found might be a better framing. If you offer the vibration of get more serious, indeed, things will get more serious. You will likely attract 1,000,000 egos at the ready for you to chomp on their hook and buy in. Indeed, things will only get more serious. Thoughts attract thoughts. And there's nothing really serious going on here. I know firsthand life can be a roller coaster. I know it can lift you up and it can throw you down. And I know that from direct experience. And it's safe to assume that you are well aware of this too. But I'm pointing to, what are you allowing? First and foremost, are you allowing your desires to be heard, to be felt by you? Are you allowing your desires to, visually speaking, be written and be seen by you? Are you allowing doubts to be felt, to be honored, to be aligned, and therein illuminated, and therein transmuted? This is very much different words that say the same thing as saying, are you allowing God-love into your life, into your mind, into your heart, your relationships, your choices, your creating, your vision, your dream, your day, your moment, just right now. A quick, very quick exercise, but I implore you to do this, to actually do this. Just close your eyes, put your right hand on your heart, and put your left hand just below your belly button. And actually do this. Do you feel anything serious there? Do you find anything needed there? Or just peace? Just oneness? There's just goodness there. So what do you want to quit? Anxiety? Want to be done with that? I know I certainly did. I felt it too. It's horrible. I reeled in it. It's horrible. In hindsight, I wish I'd listened at the whisper. I wish I'd understood what I was feeling more and why. Depression? Want to quit that too? I've been there too, also horrible. It can get so deep, so over your head. You can barely find yourself. You can barely think straight. There's no intention here to underplay these things. Overthinking, maybe perfectionism, rumination, monkey mind. Been there too. Also horrible. Spiraling out of control one day after another, just throwing my hands up, doing whatever I could to get by. The notion of thriving seemed like a cruel joke. The days were more like, what time is it? Because I really, truly, honestly just longed for night to come, just to get the peace of sleep. Just to turn it off. It's emotional stuff. That's transmutation. If you're with me, so to speak, here, in this moment, and you're feeling it, that's where it's at. That's where it happens. Tension, stress, reluctance, resentment, procrastination. And we could make a list forever long. And we can also notice it gets pretty overwhelming pretty quick. And we can listen to that. I don't have a solution per se for you, but I just have a suggestion, and I do hope that you can hear it. My suggestion for the solution is the consideration: there's no problem. I know that can be very triggering, so much so that it can even be disturbing and really just a very unsettling statement there. I know, I've been there. I'm stubborn, but I'm not as stubborn as I used to be. I'm listening. It took a long time to hear, to listen, to get it, to really hear God - love. But that's what I'm suggesting. I'm just suggesting you listen. Not to me, of course, to the discord and the alignment, to feeling, to that capital G, if you will, guidance. But I'm also suggesting something more. That you simply, yet so profoundly take the first step. And then see for yourself what happens. I'm suggesting that you put yourself, how you feel, what you want, what lights you up, first. Literally first. First thing in the morning when you get up, before any emails, before you start thinking, so to speak, planning your day, organizing, before talking with anyone, before anything, put yourself, and if you will, your connection with the reality of yourself as God love first. If you're experiencing anxiety and want to quit caffeine, just as an example, just take the first step. If you can, have water. But stay connected with feeling, listen to the guidance, be honest, sincere, genuine, be real with yourself. The greater point by far is the loving yourself. If what you can do is have decaf, and again, caffeine, coffee, it's just an example. It's not the greater point. If you can, have decaf. And if what you can do is maybe the first step is just a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. Take the first step. It's about taking the first step. It's really not about the content of the first step. I hope that's landing. It's about the truth. It's about the biggest of the biggest pictures. Apply this change now that it's known from the direct experience of taking that first step. Apply this change to the changes that you desire, and be mindful it's not just a habit you want to change. Be mindful you've been filling a hole. A God love sized hole. Be real with yourself. Punch pillows, shed tears, but release and let go. Welcome the relief and experience the clarity. See what's really going on, so to speak, and take that first step and feel good about it. And be open-minded, be curious, see what happens, see how you feel. You will see in your day, God love does show up. The very best of you shows up. And just a word for what you will directly experience. a pointing word would be betterment. You can't actually not be unconditional love. You can't actually not be well-being. There is nowhere that you came but love. Nowhere that you came from but love. Infinite love. There is nowhere that you're ultimately headed but love. There is nowhere in between. And there is nowhere in between but love. If you're experiencing rumination, meditate. If you're experiencing racing thoughts, meditate. If you've never meditated first thing in the morning, just start. That's enough. Just sit for 5 minutes. That's the first step. That's enough. And just to be as clear as I can, I really mean that in the most literal sense. 5 minutes is a start. It's enough. Don't expect anything from the meditation. Feel how it feels that you've taken that first step. Feel that in your day. Look for the difference in your day. If it's too much, by the way, if it's overwhelming, that's okay too. You've got some expressing to do, something coming up. Don't force meditation. Don't try and push through it or anything like that. Just instead set aside 5 minutes. Sit with a pad of paper and a pen, a laptop, an iPad, and a cell phone, whatever, and write the thoughts that are coming up. No figuring out, no solving, just write the thoughts that are coming up. It's a letting go, it's an emptying out. Clarity will fill in. It's just to empty them, just to express, and it's a game changer because you will see from a different vantage point. You will visually see the thoughts out here, so to speak, in front of you. If you have yet to do this, It's completely different, and clarity and just natural alignment arises or fills in. 5 minutes, just for 5 minutes, and then see what's released. See how you feel from just taking that first step. So I hope you're getting the point here. Whatever it is you're experiencing and whatever it is you want to change, whatever it is, just take the first step. And when you do, that day, you will see differently. Insights and clarity will arise. Momentum will be changed, and you will know because it will be felt. Maybe it's a stretch for me to then say that God love, that truth, will be felt. But maybe it's not a stretch. Maybe in that change of orientation and that change of momentum, in taking a first step, that 5 minutes might change your whole life. That day you might have your first glimpse, your first taste of realness, of reality. But you don't know until you do. But I promise, if and when you do, you'll have an appreciation for how free you are that you've never felt before. And you'll never proceed or go forward in your life without alignment again. And in that pause, we both know that's not true. You'll forget. You'll end up in the Discord again. and again and again, but it will be different. You'll have a different frame of reference. You'll know and feel the power of taking that step, and you'll let go of discord more swiftly for knowing that, and you'll take another step. And in every step, you will know and feel the power of God love. It will begin to get clear that God or love or God love or whatever word you prefer, it really doesn't matter. You'll just know and experience directly the meeting you at every step, and therein your life will change. You'll begin to see the perfection with your own eyes all around you, within you, and realize so many false expectations, that there is a reality too that you cannot ever per se be perfect, because you already are the infinite perfection that is this. The unthinkable, unbelievable, immeasurable love that you are.